think enough women talk about the power of choosing yourself and breaking out of whatever kind of system or relationship or environment or story you have been limited by. I was just reflecting on a lot of my experiences and jobs before I started my own business. And one of the things that makes me super emotional about it is the way that I was settling, thinking that these things were normal because it's just what society deemed as normal. But it was absolutely unacceptable and should not have been something that women were experiencing. It should not have been something that was normalized. And in a way, I was taught to just exploit myself. What I'm referring to here is years of waitressing, serving, beer cart girl, where although I was always somewhat respectful and I never did anything wild or crazy, but the ways that I was taught that my value came through tips, in that men were the ones who would give me these tips. And instead of having standards and self-respect and knowing that I'm more than just my body or my looks, and it shouldn't be about making someone feel good about themselves, you should just be getting to receive because you're doing your job. And this is coming from someone who experienced multiple sexual harassments and assaults and rape and so many horribly traumatic things to my body, to my psyche, to my sense of self. And yet it still goes on and it's still totally normalized. And so many women think that this is normal and it's what they deserve or it's what they have to tolerate. So I'm here to remind you that you have the ability at any time, just like I did, to start to say, this is not acceptable, and to make the changes to create a reality that doesn't revolve around this. If it doesn't feel good to you, you don't have to stay there. It was terrifying for me at the time to leave what had been years of waitressing work, and the fact that I actually was really good at doing this job and I could see potential, and there were places that were offering me higher level positions and stuff, but the amount of neglect and mistreatment that I also was receiving was not okay with me, and I knew that I didn't want to enter into that kind of life. Part of the reason why I started solo traveling and was so committed to building a business on my own and being my own boss was because I was like, I don't want to ever have another boss who is trying to play power games or manipulate or use me or lead me in with these promises of promotion or more money, but meanwhile actually is just wanting something else in exchange that I don't want to give. We should not have to abandon ourselves in this way. And it is the conscious decision to be a cycle breaker, or to just draw the line in the sand and say, even if this is what people think is normal, and if this is what other people are doing or dropping their values for, I don't stand by it, and I'm going to set a new standard for myself and embody what the other realities can look like. And that is where you get to take your power back, because you're just no longer willing to stay in a place that treats you poorly and keeps you diminishing yourself or feeling like you don't matter and questioning your worth. So you have to pull that power back to you, and you get to decide that you are worthy of better. And then you build the standards and the life around that.